let YouTube catch up while I get to the correct page on the computer. And we'll see who is here. The usual suspects will be here. They usually are. Oh, this is taking an age to open. Oh, of course, the TT's on. I wonder if that's impacting data speeds here in the Isle of Man. Give me 1 second. Just catching up with chat here. And here we go. We're ready. Slightly late because I took the rubbish out and little Hutchie decided she was going to come into the house, so I had to lure her out with cookies. Greetings, let's sterilize you. The breeder is going to get me a new kitten and try to save the kitty. Ah, kitties. Ultraviolet. Well, near ultraviolet. Close enough. Prepared to be scanned with ultraviolet. Super fast scan. Ah, bask in the near ultraviolet glow. That's sterilized something. I could have done a Hutch no, because that would involve making Hutchie visible, and picking her up would result in loud hissing and frantic claw and teeth action. She's not pick-upable. She'll respond quite well to a modest petting, but she will not let you pet her too much. Live reminder, could do Steven Seagal. If you're just arriving, make sure the little indicator is on for indicating that you are the live bit of the stream and not like way back here when we were over there. Do Permaviolet sterilize your insides? I think they probably would, Raven Linnea. I'm not really sure how that goes. The sugar. We want to see the floof at Craig Matthews. I wouldn't call her floof as a dangerous little kitty. Very friendly, but also quite dangerous, but fine. Semi-feral, Mr. Margie, indeed. Good evening, Sedag Mike. And good evening, Liz. I've not got the woofler ready, but that doesn't take long to get ready. I once said that ticket did not want to be picked up. Littermate of it into a cat that wasn't allowed out. Much buzz saw action and loss of flesh. Yes, the chipmunk. It's not a good idea. Look, I've got the Mark II version of the teeth. One moment. Better spacing, but still going to change the sound of my voice. And they're also much whiter than the other teeth, which kind of like it's not quite right. That's mainly because my teeth are the wrong colour, apparently. How much do these organising drawers cost you, Sam Horowitz? They weren't too bad. I can't really remember. Was it £25 per section? I'm not really sure. 3D printing your own teeth will happen in the future, but it'll probably be done with the ones they're doing at the moment are the optically cured resin. Slurred speech and no alcohol, that is it. Whiter and longer. They are a bit longer as well, yes, but that can be adjusted. That's a prototype. They can be reworked. It makes me marginally more acceptable to certain cultures. Gone. That's better. Back to the normal voice, back to the comfortable voice, but less plastic in mouth, which isn't too, they are too long a wee bit. And they're also just that wee bit whiter, even though these aren't the whitest, to say the least. These are the standard colour A2 in dental terms. Angle grinder, they can actually be sat in because it's a heat moldable plastic. So they can be pushed in further. I could get special ones for Halloween. I always have Halloween teeth. Caterpillar, the saga to be told about my snips. The short version, first didn't work, second result in a week of hospital care. What did you do? Was that tips flying off and breaking and going into eyes or something? Should I borrow the resistance series and discharge a cathode ray tube in Linux? It is kind of recommended for the cathode ray tubes, sort of just something to take the oomph out of it. But having said that, there's not really an awful lot of harm you could really do, I suppose, because the cathode ray tube, the reason it can discharge so quickly is because it is a layer of glass with the graphite on the outside and the conductive coating on the inside. It's got a very low impedance. They do 3D CNC machines that make teeth in the dentist office. Yes, DC Allen, they do. In modern dentists. You sounded okay with them in. Ah, it is a bit awkward to speak. It does sound different to me. Ekoloski says, I repaired CRT stuff for years and never bothered with resistor. Indeed. I didn't do anything. It was the surgeons that couldn't do vasectomies. Oh, right, Captain Beardy, I see. So, all right, that type of snip. No need for me to get that, because I just don't have sex, full stop. It's a foreign object in the mouth after all it is, but these ones are very, very LED customizable. If you know, I wanted to put LEDs in them, but I can't think of any reason to do that. That might just be a bit weird, like these people with gold teeth and diamonds in them. It just looks unpleasant. It's a mouthful of shit. My vet was stumped. Hold on, what was that? Ah. It's the tongue, indeed. Greetings, Mick Sparrow. There's a very tiny chance you could puncture the anode connector. About the same chance a mobile phone causing a petrol station to go boom. Yeah, never actually heard of someone doing that, but it is viable. I mean, it's not like any resistor I have is rated for voltage anyway. You can make a string, you can make a high voltage resistor with a big string of them, and as you approach, it's like an ionizer with its resistors. They're not really rated for the full voltage all the time, but as you approach, it starts basically shorting through the air with voltage involved, because it is pretty high. It is extra dramatic with the no resistor rifleman. If you're doing it in front of the public, it deters them from, they're like, oh God, no. And it's like, yeah, I'm very butch, actually, yes, working on this big, dangerous electrical thing. DCN said, I had mine done in 2022 and they're still going strong. I asked for normal teeth and that's what I got. Aha. Rectangular LEDs might work. Well, I could theoretically make them out of the whole teeth out of resin. Sam Horowitz says, I'm in the process of trying to repair a grid-tie solar inverter. A spicy scorch marks blown diodes. Wish Clive was taking a look at it. It's going to be quite a complex thing. And you wonder if it's something, what caused that problem in the first place. It is dealing with quite high current and potentially the grid, basically. Scary things. Glitter ball teeth, I'd pay. You can do that with your teeth with just glue and glitter. Till, the singer from Rammstein, had a hole made in his cheek so he could have an LED inside his mouth or a music video. Must have been a very powerful music video, Daniel. Because I built a circuit board with a microcontroller on it for putting in someone's mouth for a made-for-TV short film called Electric Blues. And at one point, the guy's holding the wires and he's going like that with his... And it was all sped up, but it was like arcing in the mouth. It was like strobing. It was a random linear feedback shift register. So that as he's like going like that, it was all sped up. So it just basically looked good. That's the bit that got us accused. You weren't in that series of films, you weren't supposed to use CGI, and we got accused of using CGI multiple times in that production because the special effects were so good. Fizzy wine time. There is no fizzy wine, John McFern. I did have a bottle of wine during the week though, but I didn't fizz it up. You could use ultraviolet teeth, Captain Beardy, to sterilise your food as you ate it. Better half is about to get a front tooth implant, might be around 4,000. Yeah, Mr. Margie, that's what it's like here as well. And to be honest, That sort of money can be spent on better things, can it not? Horvath, putting the teeth in during the stream, and getting used to it. These are still a prototype as such. I'm not really sure about this. And also, they do need adjusted in length, and that sort of glue stuff you put in them to stop them coming out. But yeah, they're not. They're not. It's a start. It's not perfect. No, they are sticking down too long still. How do I go about creating a cascading chase scene DMX dumb lights, Graham Shaw? That will depend on the desk you're using. And if you have the option to make a slow transition from A to B, if you want to actually do waves and stuff like that, there must be examples of that on the internet. The main thing is when you get to the end of the sequence to actually program in that step that brings in the first light again. Depends what you're doing. I shall practice talking with a. Then again, I do most talking when I'm on the live streams, don't I? Craig Matthews says, what would the failure mode be if you used a signal relay, 100 milliamps or so to switch 20 amps or so? Customer threatened to get a pain to replace heat controls and parts they have are bad. The relay could potentially burn up and go on fire. That heart is really annoying for some reason. I do not have it tonight. Steve Perry, is that the emoji thing? Oh, I don't know. Once the moustache is growing down a bit more, that hides the teeth anyway. Or lack thereof. And I can practice drinking with it as well. Hold on. Boss teeth are horrible looking things. I should have glued them in beforehand if I was going to do this, but it does need the length adjusted. If it comes to it, I could Dremel the front down. Watch me swallow them. Very close fit. It works well. I did it proper dental way. I made the mold of the mouth with the little trays you get with the putty. You can either use alginate or you can use the 2-part silicone putty. They call it hydrophobic, water phobic, so it doesn't like sticking to your teeth. And I used the silicone one from eBay, and you knead it together, the two bits to make the uniform color very quickly, and then you lay it in and just sort of roll it like you're doing plasticine as a kid. Roll it into a ball, sausage, stick it in, and then you put it into your mouth. That's the hardest bit, getting it put in and, making sure it gets centered in the teeth. And then you just basically browse the internet for 5 or 10 minutes and then take it out and you've got the perfect shape. But then you cast it. I tried the plaster Paris casting, but it was a bit brittle, and then I just did it in resin. Chris Wenham, I got an oscilloscope for my birthday because I bought it myself, and now I'm wondering what everyone else, other everyday user, can put it to. Lots of interesting things. Clive sounds like the guy on DroneBot Workshop. Lots of... Is it going to really be hissy now? It is going to be hissy. I need to fine-tune these teeth before I get used to them. No, let's go back to the thing. I think most technical people have teeth missing or replaced. I think most people these days have fake teeth. I doubt many of the big smiles you see on television are real at all. Although having said that, as I've said before, June and Kevin both have real teeth and they've got the full set. No fillings or anything. It just seems to be some genetic thing. Maybe it's Isle of Man. But Steams, I got a Tech 2225. Trying to understand why no horizontal sweep. Not sure. I need to tune them up before I do this. I need to get the size right and so on. I want it to be the finer ones. Normal Clyde, please. Dentistry puts me in edge, Mark Gray. It puts everybody in edge. It's horrible going to the dentist. Suffering succotash indeed, Jerry. My ugly teeth are all real. 2 small fillings from about 30 years ago. That's good going, Dom Ride. Dentist in France, scary expensive. It's strange how it varies around the world. I guess it probably, like I would guess that the British Dental Association is the prime factor in the UK of setting prices. Anyway, I have a gadget to show you. I've got lots of gadgets. I shall go and get the first gadget. It's pink. I paid extra for the pink one. Is this even going to fit? Yes, it's going to fit. It's a light, or it's a fan combined into the one unit. And if you toggle it off and on again, goes fan on again, then off. It seems to switch around 2 positions with a fan and 1 without. So that is it. We shall explore this. It either goes into a standard lamp holder, like that, or you've got a choice. This physically bayonet caps off, and you can put on a little ceiling box instead. Quite a tight fit there, but I guess that's good for something like a fan. But you can have it hardwired and directly on the ceiling, or you can have it as a dangling fan. No, I won't get the beard caught in it. That would be disastrous. What the hell is that for, Peter Stevens? That's for when it's super... What an awful piece of tat. I'm glad you like it, Horovac. It is for when you need a bit of air circulation in your room. It's quite powerful. I've also got another thing to tell you about. Can I show you it? Because it's actually built in now. Hold on. So you guys might remember, do I have the plastic thing here or not? You guys might remember that I 3D printed this plastic frame so that a 120mm diameter fan could be sat into a HEPA air filter. Well, this house was really hot recently, and I was thinking there's just no airflow, and I couldn't open the windows because there was just no airflow outside. There was no point opening the windows. And just to the left of the bench, this might actually make noise in the videos. Just to the left of the bench, well, the area, where the bench is an extension onto the house, and it's got a void underneath, but it's not really been done terribly well. It's a bit humid under there, even though it's got ventilated air bricks. So I drilled a hole in the floor. Let me show you the thing that I did that with. Not sure if this is standard in America, but British tradesmen will recognise this and these. If you have a solid floor and you need access under it, instead of getting all the carpet off, well, to a degree, and lifting the whole floorboard up or trying to cut holes in it, you can use this. This cuts a large hole in the floor for putting your hand through, but once it's cut it, there's these extra blades here that then cut a little rim in the floor as well. So that once you've done all your work, you can just drop these load-bearing plates into it and then put the carpet back over it. It means that it just basically makes an access port. Well, I made an access port to the void down below that's got the vents outside, and I stuck the fan. I printed one of these size to fit that with the fan, and now there's just a 12-volt fan just running, just pushing air from the house down, creating negative pressure in the house, pulling air in from door frames, window frames, who knows, maybe the attic. What a difference. What a difference it's made. It's unbelievable. The house just feels cool and fresh just with a 120 millimeter fan. 1.5 watts. Dehumidifier through here hasn't run since. I wouldn't say this was expensive, Peter Stevens. I think I bought this off eBay, new. Silverline is the brand on these. It's probably not the original company that invented them, but very, very good. The blade tends to get stuck in the denser chipboard stuff these days, Chipmunk. You do have to be very careful when you're drilling. It does tend to snag with a bit of a bang. It is a hole saw, just with that extra thing, the hole, and then it's got the little blade for cutting the recess for the plate to go into. Very good. Silvershite, you say, electron box. For low use, for just basically here, it's fine. Can we get some MERV 13 filters in those? The other thing I've thought, what else I could have done, there's a doorway into the attic. There's stairs up to the attic, and then there's a doorway in. I thought of sealing the door at the bottom and actually next to it in the wall putting a fan with a HEPA filter in the inside, so it makes it positive pressure displacement, which would work as well, but it would filter the air as it comes into the house. Just a bit of airflow makes a difference. It does, Juraj. It makes a huge difference. Like, it's the difference between arriving in and the place is hot, humid and musty as it gets in summer, and it's feeling cool. Yes, Ralph could drill holes in coffin with the coffins of these Peter Stevens. I'm not sure that would go down that well. They could put their hand through it and wave. Well, HEPA's technically better, helps if I do some research. John McFerrin, I think it's all a bit shady anyway. I think everybody just throws in those buzzwords. HEPA. Everybody buy our HEPA filters. They trap COVID. Yes. I mean, we've only just started the stream. Should I be showing it? Actually, it's almost whiffle time. I'll go and get the whiffler in preparation. And the new ventilation system will actually suck the whiffle smoke out the house. To test the airflow, I filled the place with smoke using the little haze gun that you just basically, I could show you the haze gun. I could plug it in. Bluto is the original from the BigClive.com pictures. It was on a piece of blue Formica that I had with bits of tri-rated cable from Hussmann probably. No, I bought those cables. Did I get them from Hussmann or did I buy those cables? Maybe I stole them from work, or maybe I bought them. I think I bought them because I was using the thicker cables for links in my Fairground control panels. What's the time, says Liz? It is fully charged up ignition system whiffler time. Is it louder? Probably. Whiffling. Whiffle. It'll be interesting to see. Is this smoke going to get sucked straight through? Whiffle. Whiffle. So anyway, as I was saying there, I used the little gun. Hold on, I've got a gun here. It was the hazer gun. I put some of the vehicle sterilization haze fluid in it, one for fogging out vehicles. And then I just sat it on the floor because it just runs continually. Let me go and put some haze fluid in it. What can I put in it? I can improvise some more socially acceptable haze fluid right now, or I could just use some of that sterilising stuff. Yeah, I'll use some of the sterilising stuff. Let's plug it in. Let's plug it in to heat up. No, let's not plug it in to heat up before I get the liquid for it. I shall go and put some in this. I've just improvised some haze liquid. But anyway, I used the vehicular stuff and I pointed at the wall, and it must be quite heavily glycerine based because, well, the ball has not changed back in colour and the place was very wet round it. Let's turn it on. And then wait for something to happen. Intergalactic space gun. Pause the stream, need to fetch snacks and wine. You fetch your snacks and wine, Horvath. How'd you get shot of that heart icon in the chat? I don't see the heart icon. Uh-huh. It's heating up. It's about to get hissy. Thermostat, I've heard one. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. Oh, hold on, I'll turn the light off. Intergalactic. Yeah, right, let's turn that off. That is it off. Turn it back on again, give it a wee blast through there. So the place is hazy for the rest of the night. Does it work with gasoline? Well, you could try it, Mark Chombley, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Even I'm not sure what even would happen if you put paraffin through it. I suppose there's one way to find out. But yes, it holds its temperature quite well. And then runs for a while after it's done that. I took this apart in a video just in case you guys don't know. During the pandemic, because it was one of many items sold for purifying your buildings and kill the bacteria. Everybody can go to work now. Yes. Indeed, you can all go to work. Clive has made the place safe with his antibacterial space gun. Hazy Fantasy. John Wayne is big leggy. Pie man. And now my extraction system will now gradually suck the haze out. It took a while last time though. But it is pushing a good, it adds up during the day the amount it takes out because it runs 24/7. What's the ticking noise? Mark Gray, that's a little solenoid pump pecking the liquid into the heater block. Take me away. Yes, Pete Webb, I remember that one as well. Antibacterial haze gun needs filled gasoline. Yeah, that's not a good idea. It does. That was it at low setting, by the way. Do you want to see it at high setting? This is going to get a lot louder. It changes the speed of the pulsing. So at the moment it's quite low. Tap, 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 tap. Then you can go. Yeah, that's quite loud. And it's probably spraying out wet spray. It is spraying out wet spray, that's fine. Wet. Right, I'll just let it calm down a bit and then put it down there. I could wipe that in my pants. I think it is, well, it is just glycol anyway, it's fine, it'll wash out in the wash. It's not oil. But yeah, anyway, I used that gun to test it. Went outside to see if I could smoke me outside. No, I couldn't because it was so diffused. And then I came in again, turned it off, and the next day I was just looking over and there's a big, huge wet patch on the wallpaper where it had been pointing. My hands are moisturised. Clive now is a moist house. It's not too moist. Keep in mind this is mostly glycol vapour. But anyway, the moistness will get pulled out the house by the fan. It's very good. 720p is standard resolution, Jiraj. That is what YouTube streams at by default. You can't go higher unless you use an external... I don't know if you can, even with an external streaming setup. I don't know if it'll go higher than 720p. I guess they're just wanting to keep the data down because it's not so easy to compress a live stream. It's an advanced woofle device. I mean, it could be black. Could be made into an advanced woofle device. Ekodowski says, I bought one of those little infrared thermal cameras this week. It makes my £1,200 FLIR look like a piece of crap. FLIR are going to have to up their game. The question is, can FLIR up their game? And now, for reference, apparently, Doogie, the new one, the new thermal camera they've got, with the super duper high resolution, is actually just 256 by 192 with a bit of marketing on it. Just like Cat used to do. Cat used to not tell you the resolution of their cameras. They used to give you an impression that it was super high resolution when in reality it wasn't. They were very cryptic about it. Doogie are doing the same. That they're not doing the reputation any good doing that at all. So where is this heart icon in the chat? I don't see it. Maybe I don't get to love myself. I mean, yeah, obviously I do. That'd be a flamethrower, it would. The problem if you put gasoline in it is it would actually create a cloud of the vapor in the air but not ignite it. Until it did ignite. And then it would just be a really huge fuel air explosion. Rifleman, my stupidly large TV is an upscale chip, works very well. I watch in a completely artificial 4K, reasonable enough. Oh, it's in the mobile app. Oh, right, okay. Since I don't see aircon in my flat, says Chris, when it gets hot, I'm going to try plonk an ultrasonic fog or a glass of water, place it up high somewhere. I'm not sure how much that would add. Is it very dry in your place? You could also get the ones, the fans that just blow through the wicking material and have a cooling type effect. Do I get a little heart if I type heart? No. Nothing. You should be sucking cold air in from under the floor and blowing the hot air out the roof. It's not too bad, Steve Perry, but I definitely don't want to suck the air from under the mouldy under the floor because it is basically a damp basement type thing. And it's not even a basement, it's it's basically about, oh, how deep is it? Can I even show you how deep it is? No, it's not super deep. And also smells terrible. When I drilled the hole, you could smell the mustiness, and that's why I've got it blowing the other way. I also want to dry that area out under the floor to a degree. Even baking flour can cause dust explosions. Lots can cause dust explosions. Oh, you need to use a colon first. Colon, heart. Oh, there's lots of hearts. Heart on fire. Just heart. Gay pink hearts with ribbons. It's actually, it's not bad as a crawl space if I wanted to crawl down there for some reason, but it's not accessible from outside. You'd actually have to make a trapdoor to go down into it. 2 foot. I'm not sure how deep it is. I think it's actually more than 2 feet. Might even be 3 feet. Yes. But anyway, I've got another pink gadget. I've not tried this yet. Not sure how safe it is. It comes with an IEC cable with the 2-pin connector, and you just know this is going to be copper-coated aluminium and that it can't be used at all. It should be binned, really. And it is pink, and it pops up. It's a rubber kettle. That's great. Oh God, oh no, it's full of boiling water. Oh my God. That doesn't seem like a great idea, does it? But anyway, we can test this. I've got this steamy, I don't know if you can still see it, the haze is still wafting about here. And then when you finish, while it's full of boiling water, you just shove it back down again, apparently. It's not going back down. Oh, there it goes. There we go. What could be bad about that? A Chinese kettle made of rubber. It is a pop-up kettle, yes. A pink pop-up kettle with a non-compliant cable. Oh, Flambeau, yes, Sam Horowitz, but most are these days. It does need filled with gasoline and then a tea light put on top of it, maybe. Yeah. We'll open it up. We'll see what it's like inside. What's it rated at, power-wise? Is it 600 watts, it said? 0.6 litre, 600 watts, boils in a few minutes. Oh, it's got a certificate, Inspector 8. Inspector 8, who may or may not exist. Date 2023-3-1. Presumably 1st of March 2023. Yes. But anyway, that's something to explore. I shall put it back in a little bag for later exploration. A skin-coloured set. You could use it as a flashlight if you didn't mind plunging your love sausage into boiling water or steaming your not lady bits. Folding kettle. In goes the cable, in goes. Let's take that apart in a video and see what sort of heat element it's got. I can guess that it's going to have the little sort of U-shaped heat element just welded onto the bottom of that stainless steel. I've still to try out my electric shower from China, from eBay. The 3 kilowatt instant heat electric shower. Someone sent me a picture of the inside of the full mains water pressure one, the inline 3 kilowatt heater. And it actually looked fairly decent construction, but you just never know, and your insurance company is not going to pay out if a £30 item from eBay floods your house. It looks like something to set on fire and explode. It could well be. Death shower. Well, is it a death shower? There is one I've got here that I should have taken a look at a long time ago that is not nice. It's a glass tube with a conductive metal coating that is the heater on the outside, and you think if that cracks, then it's electricity asunder in your water. It just doesn't look good. But this other one, mini avalanche. This other one looks like this. A plastic thing, so that inspires confidence. Oh, and points up the way like that. And it's got this little pressure thing, that will rubber bung here that will blow out if it gets pressurized too much to stop it pressurizing. I don't know if it's got a digital readout. Has it got a digital readout on it? Or just an indicator? I'm not sure what's in there. I think it's just an indicator, if that. And you've got your connection hose with a little plastic thing for tightening up. You've got your on-off tap, because you control the water in the inlet to that. And then you've got a hose and a shower head. So you can take it all into the bath with you and have an electric shower in your bath. I think, relatively speaking, this one might not be too dangerous even by Chinese standards. I mean, maybe. The cable's very thick, but that means nothing. That means nothing from China. Grant Brent, also available from Barra's Market, Colin Napier. What's that? Oh yeah. The Barra's, as always, sold dodgy things. A lot of stuff there will be coming from eBay and being marked up. Maybe need a loud patron stream more explosions, John McFern. It could be viable. Oh, Steve Perry, my drinking birds arrived from AliExpress. eBay have removed all the drinking birds. I did spot that eBay has removed all the drinking birds, probably because they contain methylene chloride. I don't know. I'm still waiting on an air aromatizer, a little wispy aromatizer from America. It's stuck in the postal system. It's just sitting, waiting for someone to make a decision somewhere. Nobody's going to make the decision. As far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, it's probably lost in America, where it was coming from, which means that the awkward thing is if I put in it didn't arrive complaint, then the seller has already spent about $30 in shipping. Are they going to get that back? They're not going to get it back, are they? I think it was being shipped via eBay. Not sure what to do. Nuts Proud, technical, I got a A4 laminator and ready LED not come on. Fault was 1N4148 reverse polarity in parallel with LED. Or was it the wrong way round? I may open the heating element that. Drop shipping is always a thing, Frank. This particular thing from America, though, is not available anymore. It's obviously it's one of the Glade Wisp air fresheners. I did ask them to take the battery out in case that was a problem. The thing is, Sam Horowitz, it is paid with PayPal. The problem is I feel guilty because I don't think it's the seller's fault. They have shipped it. I think it's the postal system. I don't know if it's HMRC being wankers. That's His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, which it's nothing. It's almost run like a private company now. It's the tax collectors in the UK have been complete dicks, and they've been saying to all the other countries, you have to do tax paperwork if you're dealing with the UK now. And it's possible that because this person hasn't charged VAT on or declared it as charged VAT, that they're just being dicks, and I wonder how much other stuff they're destroying and holding. It's not very good. Very suspicious. Paul Norman, going for a takeaway beer. Chris Wenham, if a couple of packages stuck in the Royal Mail system, tracking gets to Gatwick and then it just disappears into a black hole for a week or more. I've had that with customs again. It just disappears in and just sits in a big, huge queue, and it's adding greatly to the postage times. And there's a point you have to say, just tell customs to fuck right off, quite frankly. Ian Cooper, I think China, I just don't think they've got much grounded metalwork. I think they just have live neutral. They don't carry the ground throughout the house, but there could still be wet areas, there could still be copper pipes. The lack of electrical separation of the screwdrivers is disturbing. As soon as you actually complain, it will just show up, Sam Horowitz. As soon as I do open a case, that's when things do show up. I'm a bit kind of annoyed because at this point in time, I've got 4 weeks until I'm back in Glasgow in preparation for the Embraer 2. And if it doesn't arrive by then, I'm relying on Ralph looking in at my parcels and seeing, did it arrive? And he just won't give a shit. He won't really know what's inside. What would be the proper name for a cascading chase? Are you, it depends. I mean, if you're, oh, they do call them chases. You get shutter chases. It depends what you're actually talking about, a cascading chase. I'm not sure the exact effect. Are you talking about the one where they all pan down one at a time? Not sure. You may be able to apply overlays on, you may be just able to set patterns and apply overlays of the illumination over the top or the shutters over the top. It depends on your system you're using. I'm afraid that programming a lighting desk just involves sitting down with every single new different desk and having to just go through it all over again. You find most lighting designers and operators, desk operators, have a favorite desk because if they tried to be conversant with every single lighting desk, it'd be a nightmare. They'd have to learn how to use several different systems. Australia started the tax collection system some years ago and the UK just followed. This whole Brexit thing, there was so much sourness when it happened that I think this is a lot of useless people with made up jobs decided to keep their job by inventing a new way to apply it. Maybe I'm just being bitter. Meanwhile, stuff from China just comes through no problem. Oh wow, that's okay then. When the first light stays on and the end light blinks once to the end. Oh, do you mean chasing the lights across it? That sounds like a shutter chase. In the basically aimed, it, it's called a shutter chase, but it doesn't apply to LEDs because the shutter used to be used with the discharge lamps where you couldn't actually put it out, and you'd basically sequence all the shutters across the run to get the chasing beam. Hmm. 2 weeks from China at the moment, which is pretty good to be honest. I had some stuff arrive from China. Purple LEDs. But a string of purple LEDs. The sign pixels that you push through a surface. Every driver looks at my address on an old fold-up paper map. Attempted delivery, nobody at home. Are you in the middle of nowhere, Chris Wenham? I must admit, since Fastech went under, AliExpress seemed to have upped their game with postage. All right, okay. You do get that option. I'll show you, Ian Cooper, the purple LEDs. I don't know if a lithium cell will do them justice. It's doing them justice. It's the little pixels that so you can just stuff them through. It's flickering because it's got a bad connection. I'm just holding it on a little lithium button cell at the moment. But these are designed to operate from 5 volts, I think. And they're the ones that you drill, is it an 8mm hole? And you just push them through from the back, and they're sort of rubbery housings, and they click in, and then you just basically create strings of the outline of whatever you want. I could put them in a purple burglar alarm. They'd be perfect for a purple burglar alarm. Oh, my light's just dumb lights, Graham Shaw. Sweep, chase? It would just be a chase. But you might have to program every single step in. Like the first step would have to be like channel 1 on, second step would be channel 1 and 2, third step channel 1, 2 and 3. You might have to program it all in manually. It depends on the lighting desk. My lighting desk here is a Behringer LC2412, and takes a bit of getting used to, but it's actually still very capable. That's what used to run the George Square Christmas lights. I used to just use my own desk because it was actually easier. And it was just perfect. It doesn't have a huge number of channels, but by overlaying everything, it just, and the fact is that when you plug it in, unlike most other lighting desks, when you plug it in and power it up, it just boots up and starts running. That's the main advantage. I normally use that desk. Well, normally used to use that desk to test things. Now I use the DMX Cat to test things. Electron box. Why is it when you order PCBs, there's always an error of some type out in the silkscreen designer circuit and you don't spot it till they're made? Well, I've done that myself. It could be worse. You could be doing it the old style and getting a batch of a huge number of circuit boards made. But the answer is that once you've designed it, don't just submit the design straight away. Go and have a sleep and then come back the next day and just go over it again, like everything, before putting it in. Now, here's a thing. GLC PCB have been in touch. And they're not pushing me to put an advert in, but they're saying, can you put a affiliate link in your descriptions? And if people follow it, they'll get something like a £45 voucher towards an order. Should I go with that? And as the patron who's not here at the moment, as for the patron, what's it? It's Wendy FU or something like that. Who has joined Patreon and just joins everything, then drops back off again, just drops in every so often just to try and get me to push products. And she says, why not start a poll about a wireless router for your Wi-Fi, which we sell, incidentally. No, fuck off. You just don't join Patreon to push stuff. It does seem relatively benign. I don't use sponsorship links. I know lots of other people do, the affiliate links. The only affiliate link I've got is to Patreon for me. Good evening, Lee Goodyear. In fact, there was a bizarre fire alarm incident in Austria. A tile fell off the wall in a tech room of a school, knocked the hot water in a sink on. It overflowed and steam triggered the smoke sensor. Oh, right, okay. That's odd. Do you get a kickback from the affiliate link? I think so, yes. We'll see what happens. How are the cats doing? Cats are fine, Lee Goodyear. The little shy black cat is calling by and happily accepting little kitty cookies, but still sniffing the fingers, but not letting me stroke it yet. Someone should pit GLC, PCB, and PCBWay against each other like they do in the hydraulic press channel. That would be interesting. Did I not try that? Did I not get batches made by different companies? I did. I'm pretty sure I get several batches made by different companies a while back, and timed how long it took them to come through. One of them was Dirty PCBs, one was the Seed Studios, one was GLC PCB, maybe PCBWay as well. Grisha, fuck, I get it, not Clive. Maybe what the hell is dwell time for? You may have to experiment with things. Dwell time, or it might be the transition time it goes from A to B, because you can usually adjust the fade time. I'm not the person to ask lighting desk questions. I fix the desks. I specifically avoid getting involved in programming them. It's such a specific area. Tim Bryan, I only pop in now and again because I'm depressed. Oh, don't be depressed. Julian Shill's GLC PCB, so should do the others. It would be fairer to do the others, but having said that, I hate to say it, the GLC PCB website is the easiest to use so far. I should try the other ones again, but just being able to drop your circuit board file in and then it loads everything up, it works. Maybe the others have got better since, but it just worked better on GLC PCB. Jaeger time. Is it Jaeger time? It is Jaeger time. To the Chinese circuit board manufacturers for making it so affordable. To the circuit board manufacturers. Did I even start with a Jaeger? I didn't, did I? So that's me a Jaeger behind already. I had no idea there's two PCB companies with similar names. They all tend to have similar names. I mean, the first one I was using, well, it wasn't the first one I was using. I've been using the Chinese manufacturers since way back because initially I got my circuit boards manufactured by a British and European company called TopTech PCB. And you'd submit your files to them, and then there'd be a bit of a delay. It took quite a time to manufacture, and then they'd ship them out. It was okay. It was quite a good price. And then I got contacted by someone who said they were in the UK helping because they do all that, because it turns out that TopTech PCB just basically get all the circuit boards manufactured overseas. And he said, I can do these for you instead. And it was like, oh, all I took from that was that it turned out that they were just basically sending the files and getting them manufactured and then rebox them when they came to the UK. So then I looked online and I found another online direct dealer who was obviously an individual, because somebody didn't, I was using my old board maker files and he didn't like them because he couldn't get his thing to read them properly, even though they were proper Gerber files. But then I used PCB Cart, and I used them for a long time. The only problem with that PCB Cart is I use them for making some of my Quack products as well as my proper circuit boards, and I had extra desire that they looked good. They looked quite neat circuit boards, and it was very clear that whatever company we're sending them out to had a very loose router. Because when it routed out, the circuit boards, I don't know if it was a worn shaft or they were pushing it too hard, where it was doing a hole in the middle of the circuit board, it would just force in, it would just basically make a wee jitter at the edge. And where it was cutting the edges, it would just skip off the edge at the corners. They looked terrible. They were actually not really usable. And then another time, they shipped me, this is when I put curved corners in all my circuit boards. They shipped me a batch of circuit boards that they'd guillotined them instead of routing them out. And the difference was that they had really rough, splintery edges in the circuit boards. So I had to file every single one down before sending it out. So I've not used them for a while. I've actually used GLC for all the recent stuff like that. Ronona, quite a while ago, you showed how to make foaming soap and had a great dispenser. I've only been able to find it eBay shit. Well, mine came from eBay. That's now we should put up an affiliate link. I mean, I'll show you the one I'm using at the moment. It says Salubrity. Salubrity, and it's this one. It's a USB rechargeable, a button on top, but it's got the infrared sensor. This one has been very good compared to the others. Puts out a fixed dose of soap, and if it's in really bright light, it seems to be less sensitive than when it's in the dark. But it's been very reliable. It's been pretty good, which is odd. It's got you get the feel when you look at the inside that it could actually end up with water down the motors. I shall go and wash this off my hands. I tested a load and the quality was very variable. Some of them would crash. When you triggered them, the motor turning on would actually cause the voltage in the battery to dip enough to actually crash them and they'd reset and turn off. The router bits wear out quickly, not change them frequently enough results in the problem you describe. I did feel it was just old machine that had been abused to death, Rifleman. There should be a glut of the foamers available. That doesn't sound right, does it? Makes me think of epileptics for some reason. There should be a glut of the foaming soap dispensers because they were also used for the foaming sanitizer dispensers during COVID. Clive does make boards available on his website, but I don't think there are any Patreon exclusives. Very democratic, Chris Wenham. There are no circuit boards being sold on the website, but you can download the files at the moment. And I do occasionally, I've not done it in a long time, done Patreon exclusives. I really should. I've got things I could do that with. GLC PCB is a sweatshop. Have you seen, by default, it's the lead-based solder, right, that they tin them with. Have you seen the factory tour and there's this guy with no mask or anything, no protection, and it's just this vat of lead and the circuit boards are dipping in. You wonder how much that is. I would be concerned about him breathing in vapor. Where do you like to get your small circuit bits like transistors and inductors, Sam Horowitz? I get them usually from Rapid Electronics, or these days it's mainly CPC I use. Mainly because Rapid, I think they still charge that extra financial penalty for shipping to the Isle of Man. PCBWay is fine. They also do the shared design thing. That is interesting. I think GLC PCB have that function because they did share, it was a free circuit board you could actually order. I think I mentioned that a while back, but didn't push it too hard. There was a free ionizer circuit board, the little mini ionizer that could also power the Russian Nuclear Corporation unit, which is down here, the ozone generator. That circuit board is available as a free download from them. You could add it into an order and get a free circuit board. I'm not very good at doing the promotions, am I? Talking of which, if your lead is vaporizing, you're going to have issues. Yes, Chipmunk. I'm wondering, no, what I'm thinking is if air gets trapped and a bubble comes up to the top and pops in the bath, it can fragment the lead into sort of tiny molecules, like a oil cracker. Isle of Man sounds like I love man. Yes, Frank. This is a common thing. Do you water down regular soap for your dispenser? Yes, it's a bubble bath in at the moment, about that much bubble bath and the rest is water. So it's quite a small ratio. It's about 20% of the soap. Can you recommend a 3D printer for beginners? George Philpott. It depends what you want. The FL Sun Q5 has been pretty good, but I'm not sure if it is it's very straightforward to set up, but I'm not sure if it is the best printer. I'm not really sure what's the best at the moment. Life is cheap, China. It is DCon. It is not great. There are so many people working with dangerous things in China right now. As we speak right now, there are people working in those factories making stickers with the thorium dioxide radioactive powder in them. I'd rather pumped every time the sun shone through the bathroom window, Roost Partridge. That's not so great. Another one that I had through there would occasionally see its own foam coming out, and then it would pump more, and then it would see its own foam. It would just keep going brr, 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 and pumping tons of foam out. That's not great. Nuts Proud says, I use UKR's components. I phone them, they ship same day, most cheaper than RS in France. Really? One thing the GLC PCB aren't so great at, they won't put a silk screen on both sides of or the resist and silk screen on both sides of a single-sided board, which is a bit annoying. You have to actually put it in as a double-sided board, and then it shows up. If there's no copper on the other side, their software, maybe they've fixed it since, but it detects it as a single side and just ignores the other sides. And so you have to put just one pad on the other side, or a little dot or something just to make it do the other side. Rapid Electronics, now owned by Conran Electronics, I think, in the UK. Why is the coil in phone inductive chargers made of finely stranded twisted wire? There's a name for that. Is it Litz wire or something like that? But there is a reason they do it. And it's to do with the frequency it's operating at, and it's just more efficient than using a single conductor. And I think it's the skin effect where the current goes out to the side of the cable. Not really sure. It's in the realm of RF science. PCBWay have more options that cost a little more. Yes. I'm going to top up, but I don't have I shall find a drink. One moment, please. Nothing to drink. It's going to have to be another cup of coffee. I could have a Jaeger. Do they still use waveguides these days, Pyan? They do still use waveguides for some applications. I was thinking of a moving light that had a waveguide in it. It was made by Robe, and it used the little tiny tic-tac size sulfur lamp, and it had a RF transmitter in the base and a rotating waveguide that went up to the moving head. Didn't like it much. Didn't think it was a safe thing to have for just ordinary lighting technicians to work on. It didn't use a magnetron, a microwave oven type transformer. It didn't use a magnetron as such. It used just a high energy RF source. But if someone left the cover off a waveguide, initially when you power it up, I asked them this and they said, oh, it would detect that it wasn't getting feedback and it would shut off. But in that time, it has been firing RF out the side and it could actually damage other equipment in the vicinity. To lighting technicians, most lighting technicians, but not the egotistic ones. Most microwaves have a waveguide in them. So how many drawers are used for Jaeger? Just one. One is used for Jaeger. But it has 4 shots. The big projector Dave just pulled apart that had a big light pipe to line up 2 bulbs output. I've not watched that video yet, DCL. I thought that was going to be a really popular video, and it has been relatively popular, but it didn't get as many views as I thought it was going to get. Get your coffee and make it Irish. I don't really know if I could actually put whiskey in it, maybe. I could energize it with rum, probably. Rule 1 with JLCPCB, if the board looks wrong, the Gerber views, it's wrong. Sometimes the Gerber viewer does weird shit, but yeah, generally speaking, it's a good double check. It's worth using their viewer to double check it. I never ever updated the files because I used industry standard file descriptions, the extension for all the different Gerber files, and then they changed the ones they accept, so suddenly it wouldn't actually take the outline file, which meant it didn't fill in the circuit board size, which is quite important. I don't know if it still does that. I'll have to check it. Rum is good in coffee. Aha. Tinsel wire is an absolute biatch to solder. The GPO way was to wrap with fine copper wire and then use a screw terminal. Is that the fluffy wire that just basically, yeah, it's not nice. The headphoney type wire is horrible, if that's what you're talking about. Where's the rum gone? There is the rum. No. Oh dear. Oh, it is exactly one shot left in it. Well, that's handy. I need more rum. Actually, that's fine. I'll get more rum. It's not actually to spec to solder it. Crimp or wrap screw terminal. Oh, right. Okay, that's not great. You have to tick outline and include frame size in Sprint. Okay, Electron Box. Outline has always worked. Frame size. No, I don't know. I've never specifically selected frame size, but I do include the outline. It seems to use that for the sizing. So what else? What else do I have that's of interest at the moment? Let me think. Gadgets that have arrived recently. I've not been ordering a lot. I've been taming back what I've been ordering because A, I've got too much, and B, I tell you what I've ordered though. A Class D digital amplifier from CBC, purely so we can open it up and take a look inside it. It's a proper 1U rack mounting one with the power supply and the amplifier. I wonder if they're integrated onto the same circuit board. I'd guess they are. I only use Sprint 6 at the moment. Electron Box. I'm still in Sprint 5, the original one, I think. Oh, top end Spoonie has arrived. Reasonable enough. Bad Dragon. No. More LED hacking. There will be. Relatively, I mean, there is a limit to how many videos I can make about that. The LED hacking of LED lamps, because they only appeal to a certain audience. I can make too many videos about the same subject. I think I've been doing that recently. Some videos have been really surprisingly unpopular. Others have unexpectedly been popular. It's been a dry month. It's been going through one of those spells that others have had that as well. I hope that's not connected with the partner manager at YouTube encouraging me on an ongoing basis to enable all advert formats and through the video as well on previous videos. They're getting quite pushy about that. And it makes me wonder, you know how Electroboom has a very successful channel and he's got adverts all through his videos. It makes me think maybe they are prioritizing the more profitable videos. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That's going to be a big amplifier, Raven Looney. Its rating is about. Hold on, let me just see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find the rating of that amplifier. Order history. Sorry, our website is down right now. That happens quite a lot for some reason. Let me try on Gmail. Just give me a second here. Amplifier. Should find it. Your CPC order is ready. Where? 2 times 180 watts. Yeah, 2 times 180 watts, and it can be configured as 2 separate 180 watt RMS outputs into, I think it's RMS, into 4 ohms, or you can actually parallel the 2 outputs, which is quite odd, or you can actually put one out of phase the other and you can actually bridge them. Yeah, I just don't want, people have said that they've been getting 10-minute unskippable ads. I just don't believe that they're putting 10-minute unskippable ads in my videos. I think that's just people being angry about adverts. You're going to have to sell out if you want your videos watched these days, Evolution. I honestly think that I'm going to have to just toe the line and put adverts through the videos. But I don't want to do it to the new ones. I'll put it to the previous ones and disable the new ones. I'll also disable it on what I regard as important videos, like, say, for instance, the one about the microwave oven, the Transformers killing people. I don't want adverts putting people off. I'd rather they watch that even if there were no adverts on it at all. I've been getting 9-minute plus ads for Apple Vision Pro in front of 3-minute long videos. Really, William Wallace? I wonder what would happen if I just disabled the unskippable adverts. I don't know. You're playing with your income if you do that, really. You just don't know. I wouldn't want to do that and suddenly see my income just go pew, and all the views drop as well. I shall consult with my peers. That's what I'll do. I'll ask Dave and the others. Do you duplicate videos on other servers, Mr. Murgy? They are duplicated on Odyssey without adverts. Keep Dementia video ad-free too. That's a good point. I'll note that down. Ad-free videos. All the safety, probably the educational one as well. The one that's the most viewed video on my channel is an educational video, which is just inspiring. It's the Simple Guide to Electronic Components. Let me grab a pen. Remove ads. Not that they're on there already. But once I've done this, because there's a blanket button you can press that just plasters adverts everywhere. Am I going to regret this when I suddenly realise my income rockets through the roof and like everybody's viewing the videos after that? This happened early on, as Fran found out. Friend Fran didn't include adverts in her videos. And we said, you're going to have to do that because your videos aren't going to get viewed. And then she got views when she put the adverts on. And I found the same. There's no point in them putting out videos that they're not earning anything from, because in the early days my videos didn't have any adverts on them, and then it was just the little bumper adverts, which if anything are slightly annoying, aren't they? Not sure about those bumper adverts. Oh, I don't know. It's like it's a job that you just, if you do something you don't know what the result's going to be. Wow, just like electrical wiring. Remove ads. Alzheimer's. Microwave. And Simple Guide. Make sure that they don't get adverts, because I don't want adverts in those ones. Not a premium educational video. And ones that are designed not to be disturbed. I don't mind the bumper ads. I do, but I used to try and keep everything above it. Now, in the recent videos, you will have seen this probably. Have you seen that when I've got the, at the end of the video when I've got the notepad, what's this? This is, right, okay, with the circuitry. And instead of just, I used to put it at the bottom like that, so that when the little things came up, it said, here's the next video, here's the subscribe link that nobody ever pushes anyway. Have you noticed that I'm now pushing it up like that? and I've got a couple of marks on the bench. It's so that I could, because people complained that if they were if they were deaf and they were using the stuff at the bottom, by actually putting it down there at the end, they couldn't really see they could see the text, but it was hiding what was behind it. So that's why I've moved it up there. Ads during the one moment please break. Well, that's the thing. I could go through 2,000 ads and manually edit them all in, or I can just press the go button and let it do it automatically. The old videos don't get as many looks yet. It's complex. I just don't want to fuck around with that in case it breaks it. Chromecast also cuts off the bottom stuff. What's worse is when those end of video links. I specifically avoid putting them over. That's why I move the notepad with the schematic. I just find it annoying when they say, and that's, so let's try it, and it fits, but there's something covering it. You can't see it. You can see their hand behind this. Here's the next video. That is very annoying. I have added one advert break to a bunch of videos recently, and it was after the one moment please. Don't know. I don't want to alienate people from the videos. YouTube is complicated. I've started getting loads of suggestions for really old videos in general at Letterboxd. They do that sometimes. They've been putting about 3 of my videos, really old ones. They've just been pushing them to people, and they've all been getting responses. Poll time. Oh, I'm trying to think of a poll. And there is the option to no ads of closed caption educational videos, e.g. wood fracking. Yeah. There was, I think I mentioned that in the last stream, there'd just been another death. A 43-year-old, was it? His mate turned up to pick him up for going fishing and found him dead. That kind of suggests the guy was probably a loner. That's such a shame. When making videos, use Notepad and write one moment, please. Timestamp. Where's the bit of paper here? Advert omps. One moment, please. Yeah, I have been doing that. There's an extension. Ads don't exist on YouTube. I got an advert for Old Folks Home. Yeah, I've had some weird old person adverts. Very, very. And fat people adverts. Just maybe it's because I type in big sizes for the overalls and I'm looking for them, that they've been saying, "Hi, big boy, making big fat bastards look really good." It's like, well, I don't know about that. Do they have overalls? No, they don't. Here's the thing. An overall appeared. It wasn't my size, which is a shame. 1 minute to woofle. Oh, it is woofle time. It is woofle time. The woofle juice is all drizzled out the bottom. It's decided not to seal in tightly these days. Sometimes it seals tight and sometimes it doesn't seal tight. I could just do something about that. Print another one. Woofling. Woofling again. All getting sucked out by the super new fan. I'm getting ads for feminine hygiene products. Do you guys randomly get foreign adverts in a different language for a product in another country? I've been getting a random of those as well. Yeah, YouTube Premium. If people were if they use YouTube a lot, it makes sense to have YouTube Premium. Can anyone, UK, recommend a good brand of work shorts for techie people? Graham Shot. Depends what you're doing. The shorts I have on at the moment are okay, and these are fairly down to earth. I think they're called Stand Safe. They are Stand Safe, and they're okay. But you got other brands as well. There's just, I would say, buy a few different pairs and try them out. They don't have to be super expensive. The only thing I don't like about these ones is this strange Velcro thing in the belt, which I think is designed for attaching tool accessories onto. I got orange people in Monaco selling online property seminars. Just watch their video and they can lose their money. I'm suddenly getting loads of religious recommendations, Jerry BVR. All right, you won't get religious adverts on my channel, and you won't get finance industry adverts on my channel. You shouldn't, or get rich quick, or lawyers, or any, because I block them all. But sometimes people and political adverts, you won't see political promotions in any of my videos because you can choose which type of adverts are allowed, and I just went through and blocked all those type of ones. Clothes made for hiking are robust and low swept, can be expensive, the Monk. Work clothing is indestructible. Like cargo shorts, I guess. They are. With holster pockets, I like the holster pockets, but it depends what you're doing. Hiking clothes I regard as being fashion. If you get the same item for workwear, it tends to be better built, and certainly I used to wear the utility industry Gore-Tex trousers, the bib trousers, the ones designed for the electricity boards. And they were very good. They made me realize Gore-Tex actually works. Then again, you know what? I watch other people's videos and I just ignore the adverts in them. So ultimately, yeah, I suppose if I'm not too bothered, maybe they're not too bothered. I just don't like adverts. I just find it intrusive, particularly in technical videos. You need to allow political anti-Tory ads, Horvath. That'll be me. That'll be the special as we approach elections. You have an extra viewer, the cat, Nuts and Proud. The cats love my hand videos where that just my hands moving the screen. Cats seem to love those videos. Megavoltmeister, are you getting the V20 Pro? Because it is suspicious that its thermal resolution is different, although you've not been happy with the S98 Pro, have you? Mine's been fine. Maybe you just got a bad one or something. What is this hysteria about AI destroying the world, and just like it's all over the media that we've only got 2 years to save the world from AI? It just smacks of the hacking hysteria when computers first appeared, or how VR was going to like brainwash people. Oh, talking of VR, Apple have pulled a fucking ace card out the pack. That is looking very impressive. If that lives up to its specification, the technology. I'm not an Apple fanboy, but the technology in their headset is stunning. Media peddling hysteria, I know, it's the only way you can get the old people to watch it. AI will be a threat when it happens. I think it's going to be used recklessly. It's going to be used by scammers, isn't it? To find ways to access people's accounts, to harvest information. Craig Matthews be getting blasted with parenting videos and mum life blogs as a gay guy. That's very useful. My golden retriever's watching. I think he likes your voice. That's another odd thing, Rifleman. Now, that video I put up, was that a duck or was that a goose? I don't know. I didn't know there were geese around here. The one of the dog frolicking through the water. Scammers are already using AI. Rocco Rees, they've also been using LI, low intelligence, to sell many of their products. Plug this in and save lots of power. This kid invented it Really? It's a goose. A Canada goose. I'm going to have to write goose down here now. It's a goose. I put duck, it looked like a duck to me. Fuck knows, I don't know. It floats. It's a bird. It's a goose. Did you hear its owner shout in the background? Meow, meow, meow. Like basically shouting the dog and the dog just ignoring her just because it was off the leash and it was going to attack all the birds. I think it was just having fun, but yeah, not great. Canadian goose at that, specific Canadian goose. I'm going to write in brackets Canadian, I'm going to search for Canadian goose afterwards. Canada, we've got some of your geese here. They seem quite happy in the water. Oh, Gosport is overrun with Canada geese due to the large, most unused sports ground on the military bases, Chipmunk says. Blame Canada for smog. I don't have smog because the Isle of Man is so pure and clear. It's actually pretty good, the Isle of Man. The air is very clean. Laura Farrell, most scammers operate in the base perfectly copying genuine websites. They do. And it's not that hard to make a very convincing clone of a website. They'll copy their script, really. Evolution says if it's a large bird, it's chicken. In this case, it was a freshwater chicken as opposed to sea. No, this was actually it was a freshwater chicken. Although they do go down to the sea, so there's saltwater chickens as well. Maybe it's medium brown chickens. Very distinctive honking sound they make. It was honking. They were all honking when the dog chased it. Before I started the video, there was a whole group of them and the dog was chasing them all. They were making the honk, honk, honk noise and then they all flew off, but that one didn't. The opinion of my golden retriever is the dog was play soliciting. I think it might have been Rifleman. You have to keep in mind, I can't criticise that. I'm not going to put it up as, look at this dog attacking these birds. Is because like a cat person and well, cats eat birds or at least play with them. And, you know, they just, so that would be hypocrisy. It's what they do. What do humans do? If people complain about eating geese, well, stop eating turkey at Christmas. Bungee skunk, very still honking sound to make. What would happen if you put 240 across them? Would they honk intermodulated in 50 hertz? That would be an interesting experiment. I think I might actually get in trouble for that one. Doggies are way more pettable than cats. Well, it depends the cat, Horovac. Doggies are less demanding of your attention. Well, dogs are more demanding of your attention, cats are less. In that case, it was a brackish water chicken. I'm going to have to look up brackish. Cats do not eat Canada geese. Canada geese eat cats. Some did say that they're surprised the goose didn't give the dog a seeing to. Well, that doesn't sound right, does it? Goose puppies. Dogs are fun, but way too attention-seeking. Yes, it suits some people. There's lots of man and dog people around here that just, you see them all out with their dog all the time. It's their companion, their friend in life. Me, I just like, basically, Hutchie's like a friend that strolls by the house and says, "Hi, Clive, got any biscuits?" That's my, and will accept a small amount of stroking and petting. Ian Bosch, just back from safety boat driving again, Mike and Co. Is this a rescue boat for when people are working above you? Above water? Just eat goose at Christmas, problem solved. Is goose any good, Mark Gray? I thought it would be quite oily. Do you know what happened? I was on the way to the gym. So I finished filming and thought, okay, that's all right. I got what I wanted, and then a seagull shat on me and I had to go back to the house. I wasn't that far away. And change clothing. Lovely. That is exactly cat for you. Ideal for easily distracted tech types. It's just basically a companion. They're not over demanding, they're just there. Hmm. Cats have slaves, dogs have owners. I'm not so sure about that, Sam Horowitz. I always thought cats are more like just a buddy, just like just a friend, like a flatmate that can be petted. Oh, goose is nice. My grandma always used to cook goose for Christmas. Domray Asen cooked her goose. DCR, I was the scat man there, indeed. Seagull Bukake. It didn't hit me in the face. It actually just hit the trousers, the side of the leg, and the trainers and the sock. Lovely. Hmm. Yes. No, rowing lessons, safety boat, very windy. Ah. We have a Victorian boating lake nearby, and they take there's a company called Adventure or something, and they basically train the kids how to swim, which is good, and also build rafts, and basically they're actually setting them up to fairly independent. That's pretty good. Goose is overly greasy when cooked like other birds. It resembles Corsair's goose fat, isn't it? That is used to make other things more indulgent. Captain Beardy has the cat is now demanding attention. Okay. Oh, chipmunk. I haven't. I have seen. I haven't. I'll have to look for that picture of the catnip garden. I think I might actually have seen it, and they just happily just exist next to each other. Cats, feuding enemies will just get blitzed in catnip. I should grow more. Goose fat roast potatoes are awesome. Sound very unhealthy. Nuts proud. Sounds like basically saturated fat hell. Maverick killed Goose. He did. Pie Man from Top Gun. Google's what fire extinguisher from lithium fire? Python. That's the fire extinguisher for a lithium fire. Technically speaking, you could put it out, but it would possibly reignite until it had blown all its fumes out. Daniel says, I've gone into EU-based startup. Working over 40 hours is actively discouraged, and manager's hands off until he needs help on something. I love it. That was my experience at the Disney at France. They capped the hours. They wouldn't let us work what the company wanted us to work, which is good. It's sensible that like you have a life. Wow. You have facilities. Wow. Good food. Wow. That was a good site to work on. I have a 3D speed desk fan on one. It's still too fast and noisy. What's the simplest way to slow it down? Mike and Co. If you take a look inside, is it switching windings or is it using capacitors? It depends its wiring. You could theoretically change a capacitor or add a capacitor into the lowest winding to actually try and slow it down. But if you saw that recent little clip I put up, I added a capacitor in series of the fan and it increased its speed. Was this a result of the French Union rules? It was the general European working rules because most of the guys that the company was working with at the time, Northern Light, they worked really stupid hours for the money, but also because they basically destroyed their marriages by working away all the time because they did work away a lot of the time. So they didn't really want to go home. They didn't really like they were feuding with their wives or they were shagging while away. And they just thought that working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week was great. They signed the thing that says we don't accept the European regulations. We want to work 84 hours a week plus. I didn't enjoy that. But I thought that was fine for them, but they expected me to do it as well. And well, I did because they were quite arsy about it when I didn't want to work stupid hours. And the money was good, but no free time. Oh, and they'd work all day, then go straight to the pub and blow tons of money in the pub afterwards and drink themselves drunk and then get ready for work the next day. Wasn't great. I hate enforced long lunch breaks. Sometimes I want to get on with the work and go home half an hour earlier. Chipmunk. I used to skip lunch break and leave early when I was working on installations because I didn't want to get all my tools together and take scaffold or steps out. It was just more hassle than it was worth, so I'd just skip lunch and work through it. Also, France, Pieman, talking about, I've been to France once on a holiday. By the time I got up, they were on lunch. They have long lunch breaks and they usually have wine with them and things like that. They have very relaxed because they savour their food. Lunch break's quite important. By the way, the math on that is fascinating, that LC circuit, Clive. It is, Jonathan Hughes. It's made more complicated by the fact that the motor spinning is going to be a variable element in the actual inductance because there's a phase that it's going to introduce. It's not something you can do with just a simple formula. But it does sound like it was a perfect match tank circuit. Have you seen the video of frog that swallowed Fanfland? No, I haven't, Fanfland. France, 35-hour week, so long lunch breaks. And also, if they had a holiday, if the holiday was on a Thursday, they just wouldn't bother coming in on Friday and have the big, huge long weekend. Bit lazy. And then there was Archon Slater, who was working with us, helping interface with us to the general contractors. Don't know if he was really needed because we're really dealing with the Americans. We didn't really need a translator, but it was a holiday. He got pished, came in, pished, and then told the Disney Imagineers exactly what he thought of them, and then got sacked. Well, oh, a Friday off. This is good. Have you just discovered that? That's a good time to discover it. Now, after Brexit, you're free of that EU tyranny and can work around the clock. Yay! None of that pesky equality and work life and minimum wage shit. Now we can be exploited again. That's what it was about, wasn't it? Mind you, they lost all the cheap labour they imported during the European thing. Yeah, it's not great, is it? Europe had advantages, huge advantages. It was common sense, but it was blighted by red tape as well. Ravenly, I took Tuesday as my day off because that was my Hesselhead day. What's Hesselhead? How long does your button run? Is it a button cell lithium battery? It's a 2032. It depends on LEDs. If you use the RGB color changing ones, it very quickly the voltage drops enough that the red dominates and the blue drops out. So you're just with red and green, and then it drops down to red. But with the green or the blue, just a single color, it just runs forever. I just have not had to change the battery in this one a very long time. Craig Mashy had been trashed the place. One got airlifted to hospital after falling 2 stories while trying to push chimney pots over. What? What's that? Local junkers have smashed the stained glass windows in his listed church. That's going to be expensive. That is bad. Are they doing Parker or something like that as well? That must damage roofs. Yeah, stained glass window, that's bad. If they've broken it, that's a shame. Even if it is religion. I get asked about my supercomputer many times. I'd put Etsy link in my phone. Yeah, nuts and proud. They do attract attention. It's a good idea. Try to remember. He did black ones, didn't he? Yes, he did do black ones. I should have a black one. What is that one there? Is it green? That is a blue. I could swap. Midstream, I could swap supercomputers. I could go from green to blue. There we go. Blue supercomputer with a black background. The company, I don't know, Evolution might know the answer to this. The company we're getting the slow flash LEDs from is just not listing anything on AliExpress at the moment. Wonder what happened. One fell from a two-storey pushing the chimneys air ambulance. Others have ploughed through the flower garden in an old folks' home, the stolen car. Shoot to kill. Chat is quick tonight, or is it just me? Chat is relatively, it's not too bad. It's not as bad as the Saturday chat, which whizzes up. Doesn't stand out as much as the green one. The green is, by default, the brightest colour. Oh, look out the green on black one. There must be a green and black one. Hold on. Mouse. I've got a little drawer here marked mouse. This is a green on black one. I could load it up with a button cell. The existing button cell out the other one. What can I push the button cell out with? It's, you know, I could just eat it, apparently. Hold on, I'll put that up here. Actually, or I could just stick another battery in. Hold on. I've got my batteries up here in the little tube. So I'll switch to the black with the green then. There we go. Is that brighter? Maybe it just needs to be bigger. Maybe a mouse needs to introduce instead of 3x4, this is actually the battery is running lower in this one. It's been used a lot. Maybe mouse needs to step up to the next model, which is not just a 4x3, but a 5x4, 20 LEDs. And then once they've all sold, then he steps up to the luxury 6x5, 30 LED version. Sounds like Apple marketing there. Just arrived. YouTube did not send alert, Dan Gleebles. Maybe I should put this up a lot sooner, but then when I do, maybe I should put the reminder up, as I used to do. Actually go to Patreon and drop in the reminder. What about a 4x4 cube version? You could, Mr. Margie with the flashing LEDs, you could do that. Mr. Margie, indeed. I've never tried it. It would give a nice 3D effect. I wanted some resistors. Chinese ones kind of worked. Put on curved trays, they were crap, so got some RS work perfect. And that's proud. What we're getting from China is largely rejects. Magnetic battery backing powers on when attached, Sam. What does happen with these when you clip into a magnet is that it pulls the cell away from the contact very briefly and it resets all the LEDs. Couple thousand 5 or 10mm RGB LEDs from Alien. They're the 7-colour change. Most of them are the 7-colour change. They go red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, white. And either they do that slow, or you get the ones that go like red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, and then like go through the slow sweep. Flashing on and off. I don't know if anyone's just do a simple red to green to blue to red to green to blue. Most of them are the more complicated colour sweep, the 7 colours you say. Red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow and white. Patreon email notifies me, says Mike and go. Oh, you might not get a notification on YouTube because it's not listed. It's only going to be seen on Patreon, so make sure your Patreon notifications are active. You're not getting grade A stuff that works for hobby stuff, Jonathan Hughes. That said, it's fine for most instances. Saturday I have alarm set for streams, that's reasonable enough, nuts and proud. The Big Clive alarm. Oh, Raven Looney, I'm hoping that Look Mum No Computer Sam is okay, because he's like putting is he hyper all the time? He's putting in huge amounts of time in his videos. The amount he achieves, he sets himself to a task and he just works all day in it. That's a lot. And he's trying to make videos at the same time. And there's big gaps in the videos. I get the feeling that maybe it'd be worth putting a wee short video, just a wee filler in, just to keep his channel ticking over. But I don't know. He does do major things. I hate that there's nothing for the kids to do. There's a fucking library at the Chipmunk. I used to get abandoned in the library by my mum when she went shopping. She'd just use it as a creche. She'd dump me in it with books. To the point that the librarian complained about it. He is permanently hyper, the Monk. I hope he doesn't burn out. Where does he get his income from, I wonder? It's not YouTube, not with the viewing figures he gets. They're not bad. But also he runs that building. He is a talented musician, so he probably is that. Don't know. Must have another source of income. Don't know. That's for him to know. He also likes his overalls. So, I mean, that's something we've got in common. Greetings, John Catterall. He writes music for people as well. That makes sense, Raven. I've sent you the link for the Slow Flash LED supplier. Okay. Because I looked at the eBay, the AliExpress listing, and they weren't listing anything. The Chipmunk, I loved my library as a kid. I just buried myself in books as a kid. I read the full Famous Five and the Three Investigators and all those books. And the Moomin Troll, I just read all the time. And then failed English because obviously I was illiterate because I was reading too much, probably. He is an organ donor, gets quote. Yeah, that's a huge task, his organ. Massive. The full, I thought that was going to linger for a while. I can't believe how much work he put into that church organ in such short time. Mike and Co, I just gave away 2 pairs of overalls, a Nomex Fireproof Submariner pair and a bright red Coast Guard pair. Never bore wearing them days. Yeah, I saw an overall. It's a brand, it's a style that I wanted, but it wasn't my size, and it was like really heavily used. It was just off a building site. And it's being sold on eBay as a fashion item for something like £70. Does anyone watch Mend It Mark? I don't really watch the Mend It channels. I took a look at some of them. Some of them was a bit suspicious, not naming the particular channels, that the problems were being put in there deliberately and it was all being filmed out of sequence. Like those phone recovery where they get a smashed up phone and that ends up really immaculate, and in reality it was all filmed in reverse sections. Blimey, I should have sold them instead. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, Mike and Co. See, in the UK, a pair of second-hand Carhartt overalls, really well used, goes for more than you could buy a brand new pair in America. Oh, the workwear survey I did, Carhartt won outright. Just be careful when selling them. If you pose with them, maybe hide the face a bit, because get weird freaky stalkers as well. Yes, no, let's not do weird sexual requests on workwear you're selling. Are you needed project ideas, more videos? I wanted to examine. I have a lot of stuff here. I'm also kind of picking and choosing what I make videos about. Those videos made me want to volunteer to fix the local church organ, but apparently sold it to some American. Ravenlady. Just be careful, because sometimes as soon as you touch it and it stops working, that's as soon as if anything went wrong with it, it'd be your fault. You'd be repairing it forevermore, and one day you'd probably blow it up. Oh, mend at Mark's interest, a lot of expensive test gear. That sounds more convincing then. Don't know. Oh, he's a proper electronics repairman. That's not bad. Yes, Megan Go. Photo wearing them unzipped with the one yes, indeed. Ah. Did you hear about the incident where some teen was seriously injured, hurt at school, rumoured to be doing a stupid TikTok challenge? That could be so many of the TikTok challenges. He's always happy, great vids, definitely not fake. That's good. I might take a look at that then. Nuts proud, that just sounds like some slang for sex. I used to repair church electronics for price of parts and a free roast Sunday lunch in Vicarage. Van Blackberry wearing Duluth. I've got a pair of Duluth that were sent to me by Fur, but I'll have to go through my old Carhartt and sell them. Yeah, scruffy Carhartt go for quite a high price for people who want to have that I worked look. I don't need that. My overalls are like, I've got plenty of the older overalls that point, some that had to go in the bin because they were used to the point of destruction. Two overalls. I wonder if Mendit Mark is gay. If he's single and super technical, not necessarily gay, but he may be in the category of made to fix stuff. Contrary to an interpretation of what I say, I don't automatically assume that everybody technical is gay. Anyway, if he is gay, that's something for him to know. It's not something I'd necessarily push for an answer to. He may not necessarily want it if he was. Plus, Carhartt fully defines the high fashion of farmer forward. Farmer forward? Carhartt is a real beard killer for a beard this size. It really snags in the strap clips. They're horrible. The kid died and it was bullying, not TikTok. Oh, that's not so great. School puts far too much pressure on some kids. You can spot posers. When the fashion came for the worn jeans, the pre-worn jeans out the shops, as the jeans got old, they started, like, the guys they were bought them by their wives, and then they'd wear them into work, and they wore in completely different bits. It was nothing like the wear pattern that was, like, faked on them. I just realised I drank a bottle of wine today. Fine. Horavac, have a bottle of wine, it's fine, but not too many bottles of wine. Everyone is a little bit gay, Top End Spoonie. That is true. It's Pride Month. A month is quite a long time, isn't it? That is quite a long thing. That's just greed. Or has it just been over-commercialised? At least it's fashionable now and we don't go to jail anymore. Peter Grant, well, I thought I'd have missed it entirely by now. Have you just arrived? It's okay, the Patreon stream is the full 2 hour. It's actually reached the 2 hour part right now, but we'll go on till about 20 minutes past. And if you remind me, we'll end on a woofle, but remind me because I forgot the woofle last time. Nothing worse than being forced to come out. It's best. Just some people don't want it. Some people don't even accept that they are that way, or just denied it for so long they're convinced that they're, yeah, it's complex. I just saw a furry pride flag, Ravenley. What does that look like, furry pride? Oh, I should dig out my Manx pride flag. Not that I'm going to wave it about outside and go, look at me, I'm a homosexual. No, that's not my style. Nor go in parades blowing a whistle and looking for attention. Look, I'm a homosexual. Everybody look at me, toot toot. No, not my thing. Loudbox, once said to an MD at a company I worked at, there's no such thing as gay or straight, just shades in between. He never saw me as straight after that. Yeah, they just automatically assume it. Uh, Bear colour pride flag browns. Oh, right, okay. Oh, that sounds a bit creepy. Uh, there was an English organ builder, says Laura, retired to Dublin, and a city centre church let him repair their organ. He did it for free and spent 10,000 on it. In return, they let him start a boys' choir. That just means doesn't sound right these days, does it? Oh, progress flag, but instead of straight lines, the colour boundaries are all animal shaped. Aha. No, Craig Matthews, I'm not dyeing the beard rainbow coloured. That's too camp. The maxim with a short fourth leg, it could be. But then it has to cover every aspect. Nuts Proud, I used to do gay pride float music for 10 years. Hard generators, amps, speakers and stuff. Ah. Laura, your autocorrect has been absolutely overdrive in that post. Eventually, the protests got tired of him, and there was a falling out. The tumour got out that he had bobby trapped the organ so nobody could play it without blowing up the church. I mean, I like the idea of an exploding church organ. You should watch Matt's off-road recovery. Lots of beardy channels, Mike Hanley. It's like the Discovery Channel. Beards are an essential thing. Could dye your beard with the resistor band colours? Yes, Chris Minham. That'd be quite complex, though. Yeah, Chipmunk, that's what I was thinking, the third position, yes. Church organs, big, huge, impressive, thunderous instruments to drive the message home. Come to the church where we've got the biggest sound system, and now it's all nightclubs have the biggest sound systems. What is my resistance, Sam Horowitz? Maybe we should all choose a value, a colour code. Oh, excuse me, yawning. I took a walk out today. I went and saw the local sprint. It was quite quiet. It's just basically a speed race. But the first version of it was on Monday, and then there was a break on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday today. But I didn't even know it was on Monday. They've not advertised it well. The beard is all, it is all ones on the resistor colour code. Give it a bit of time and the top might be a number 3 with the orange. Give it even longer and this bit down here will be probably 8 grey, or is it white? Which would be 9. Not sure, probably grey. Do you ever sleep? I do. Typically at between 6 and 8 hours sleep a night, but they happen at odd times. Have you considered doing a Pride video? No. Craig Matthews, I don't mind mentioning from time to time or letting people work it out themselves by putting in clues, but I don't want to push the gay thing because there's a very good chance that the people who don't want to know don't know, and I don't want them to necessarily know, and I'll unsubscribe en masse. I was talking to Dan Clive Nine, who flies the paramedic helicopter. But the Isle of Man has the helicopter ambulance service because it's an island and it's got the race that just to get the people back to the helipad at the hostel quite quickly. Nuts and Proud, I'll try that one at the tattoo with Vince the crew chief. Big boys rape our young guys, but Vince gives willingly. I'll try that there. Southern Americans would sub in their droves. They would, Jerry BVR. The ones that are religious, even though they're very clearly gay, and they're going through the beg forgiveness and it's squirmy. And Top End Spooner saying, F them, you don't need those types of people. Well, one of the points of this channel is to make people more accountable of the fact that sometimes a lot of technical people are gay, as I mentioned, and it just makes them feel better about the fact that they're like, oh, so I'm not the only one. I'd want that to be. I want to present the image that it's not all mincing queens. The views have already dropped. Southern America's biggest dilemma, all the base fishermen channels come out as gay bass, should I say. They'll be gays. It's just, it's just normal. It's part of nature. It's what nature does. Throws in a non-breeder into the mix every so often. Anyway, we have 7 minutes to go. I'm trying to think if there's any other gadgets to show you. I mean, there are gadgets. I'm trying to think what's actually nearby that's worth actually showing at the moment. Not sure. Craig Matthews, that is true. That probably was. That the app they're using for their bio was probably written by a single person. Yes. Correction, a lot of technical people are rejects. We are, Graham Shaw. I'm sure you've explained that big copper hammer, Mike and Co. That was a courtesy of Ave, Arduino versus Evil. It was a gift. Do you have a ton of notebooks filled with the diagrams, the videos? I have, Sam Horowitz. I kept them all. It's all gone very, very gay. Maybe that's why the figures are plummeting right now. I'll wait for more interesting, well, not more interesting, but different. Lone Penguin, thanks for the IKEA Power Supply updates. Good stuff, the IKEA stuff. Nicely designed. The little mini one was pretty good too. I want a purple Big Clive pen. I settled for a Sharpie Nuts Proud. That pen is a Pilot V-Sign, which is sold in the UK and probably Europe as well, but I think it's a different name in America. But the purple one, it comes with purple ink. You have to empty it and get the syringe and just pump down new black ink into it. I've made videos for a show the refilling of it. I just like the purple case. It should be a purple pen. But the purple ink gets poured out. DCL, I always found it funny it was only men in the law that were homosexual. Ladies were thought unable to shag each other. Well, now we know. Did you get asked to join the YouTube Secret Santa? No, I did not, Mike and Co, because I'm still a small player. And will never, I mean, a million sounds a lot as I approach it, but it's not big by technical YouTube channel perspective. Craig Matthews update, cell is not bulged and voltage has risen back to safe levels. I'll cycle it a couple of times though. Indeed, another test for lithium cells is um, leave them charge them fully if safe to do so, and then monitor the voltage across them. If it drops really quickly, it should settle down a little bit initially, but if it continues to drop, it's probably got leakage inside. Shall we talk about beer and football now? We could talk about beer, DGS. How the local bar lady, the landlady at the local pub, was quite annoyed when someone walked up and said, "Could I have a beer, please?" And it was like she was super busy with the TT. The place was crowded. He asked for a beer. There were rows, and she was supposed to tell him the name of all the beers that were written there. And then an American went up and asked for a Shirley Temple. I'd never heard of a Shirley Temple. It turns out it's a non-alcoholic drink with grenadine and ginger ale and orange. And she was like, "No, it's beer or nothing." It never bleeds though. What? The pen? Any TV prop work coming up? No. Dan Gleebles. That tends to happen very random. Gay is fine, Mincy and Camp can F off. Evolution indeed. To a degree. A friend of mine is using a 5-volt spot weld to make lithium packs per model aircraft. Anyone used one? Pieman. I've got one here that someone sent me. I did not have good results with it. It was very fickle. It's basically switching lithium cell directly to the output leads by MOSFETs or IGBTs. I think the MOSFETs, not sure. And it's very unpredictable. And recently when I tried it, it just kept crashing every time it fired a pulse because the battery impedance had gone up, so it was actually pulling the voltage down and crashing the processor. Rebooting it. Hospitality industry staff get treated like scum all the time. They do to Chipmunk. It's not a job I'd ever consider. Dropping YouTube figures are due to the better summer weather, indeed. They're out having fun outdoors, which is good, and barbecues. Megavolt Maestro, I like the idea of 48-volt system in vehicles. It could have its uses, to a degree. If you can see the bar person is struggling, reconsider your order. Indeed, Chipmunk. I'll be glad when the TT is over because it's been very difficult getting served at the bar. Not it takes much. 2 pints of Laxa beer, and I come back home and I cannot stay awake. Go to bed, lie in the bed, and conk out for about 4 hours. It knocks me out, that beer. Not getting drunk, just basically just knocking out. So the stream is going on for just 1 minute more, but I'll be back on Saturday. Why are most things 1 volt, 3 volt, 612, and not one? Because Mike and Co. Because of 1.5 volt batteries. Because the standard alkaline or zinc chloride cells in the battery packs were in multiples of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. 8 cells for 12 volts. Only one death at TT this year. I wasn't even aware that someone had died, Graham Shaw. But it's not finished yet, is it? I'm not really sure. Don't forget the woofle promise to end. I will not. The end is nice, so I'll get the woofle ready. And then I may go and explore this pink fan thing. I'm not sure which to take a look at. Or the kettle, the pink rubber kettle. I just find it amusing. It just seems like a bad idea making kettles out of rubber. I mentioned it to Kevin, the lineman. He said he's got one, a rubber collapsible kettle for his camper. Okay, maybe they're not that bad then. Woofle. Camper vans everywhere along the seafront on both sides. It's just crowded camper vans at the moment. Good that the weather stayed calm. It's not a good place to have your camper van on a stormy day next to the Irish Sea. Woofling. And that concludes the quiet stream. So I shall catch up with you on Saturday. A Spaniard died this year, poor family. I know, it's always worse that it's someone travelling. Was it actually in the races? Has the kettle got a chip in it? Wouldn't be surprised. The kettle, I don't think there's anything fancy in the kettle. I think it's just a bimetallic thing. I don't think it doesn't cut off. It basically boils and then cuts in and out, keeping it at the temperature, the look of it. But anyway, I shall catch you on Saturday. Until then, have a good day or two, and I shall see you then. Ta-ta.